Great. Good afternoon, grade 12. Welcome to today's lesson. I'm so excited to have this class with you. It's the first day of term 3, so yay. I hope you've had a good break, and if you're back at school, I hope everything is going well on your side. I am Ms. Kasa, and I'm going to be your teacher for this term. Please take note of my email address right there at the bottom. It's kasazama@yahoo.com. You are more than welcome to email me questions about today's lesson or any content related questions coming to English home language. Today we're going to talk about something that we all do all the time, that we might not even be mindful of doing it. And it's not just limited to English. It can be done in other subjects. We actually do it every day. It's a skill that we will need for life. I'm talking about summary writing. So I want to know from you, grade 12s, about your day. So can you give us a summary of your day? Remember, you can raise your hand so you can share your answers with the class, or you can just write them down in the chat and I'll read them for the class. So give us a summary of your day. And if you tell me about your day, I'll tell you about mine. Just a quick summary. So share a summary of your day. What did you do? Let's think of the 5 W's and the H. What did you do? Where did you go? What else is in the 5 W's? What, where, who, how? You know the 5 W's and the H. Sure. So share a summary of your day. Just a quick one. Grade 12s. Yeah, I'll share a summary of my day. I've had a good day today. It's the first day of term 3. So I've been teaching most of the day and it has been amazing. And I was worried about load shedding, which didn't happen, thank God. And yeah, that's what I've just been doing most of today, just teaching at home and enjoying having classes with my learners. Right, at the end of this lesson, you will know how to select main ideas from a text. You will know how to rewrite the main ideas into short, simple sentences. And you'll also appreciate the importance of improving your summary skills, your summary writing skills. And you'll also understand that summarizing enhances your reading, writing, and comprehension skills. So there's so much more to summary writing skills than we might be aware of. Okay, so you're going to read the following summaries and pick the best one. So the summaries are from an article called More Schools Use Cell Phones as Learning Tools. And this was published in the USA Today. You're not going to see the original text. You're just going to see 3 summaries and we are going to look at them and pick the best one. And let's see who the winner is. All right, so I'm going to read the first summary, the blue one. So there's blue, there's purple, and there's green. I'm going to read the blue one. And I need 2 volunteers that will read the other 2. Okay. So if you would like to volunteer, you can raise your hand, or you can just tell me in the chat that, ma'am, I'll read the summary as well. Remember, grade 12s, this is a safe space to share your views, to participate, and we are all here to learn. You are learning from me, I'm learning from you, and it's all about being the best, and that's all we want from your side and my side. Okay, so I encourage you to participate in the class and to read as well. Okay, the article. It says, the article is about students being allowed to bring cell phones to school and being able to use the cell phones during class. Students should not be allowed to use cell phones on assignments and tests. It is not cheating if the teacher gives permission to use the phone. Many other countries allow the cell phones in the classroom. So should the US. This is happening today, and it will continue to happen until schools let students bring in cell phones. Okay, so that's the first summary. And like I said, we don't have the original text, but remember with summaries that you shouldn't need the original text because it should just give you the main ideas. You should understand what the author was trying to say in the original text just by reading the article. There shouldn't be a need to go back because the summary is supposed to be that good. Grade 12s, volunteers to read the red and the purple, please. So you can raise your hand, or you can just tell me in the chat that you would like to read. Let's have a look at the purple one. It's a bit longer than the other 2. And it says, the article is about schools allowing students to bring cell phones to class and allowing students to use those cell phones in class. Today, many teachers are allowing students to use their phones in class to help with assignments or labs. Students are used to using their cell phones, so the technology will not hinder the students from completing assignments or labs. Chicago, like many cities around the world and in the US, has created a program to allow students to use any type of technology in class. Students are allowed to bring technology to class through programs like Bring Your Own Technology or BIOT. This allows the students to bring any technology they have at home, phones, iPads, tablets, etc., to school to use in the classroom. Many teachers are embracing the new technologies in the classroom, but there is a long way to be before all school and all students can use cell phone or other technology in the classroom. So that's the second summary. Let's look at the red one. Okay. The article is about cell phones in schools. I disagree and think that we should be allowed to use our phones in school. We need to be able to contact our partners if there's trouble or we want to go home. Students in every state should be allowed to use their phones. I think we also need to be allowed to use our phones on test and work. It should not matter if you want to CK Facebook as long as you get the work done. Right. 3 summaries. Which one is the best? The blue, the purple, or the red? And also say why you picked the winner. Remember, the task was to pick the winner, the best summary. So which summary is the best? Blue, red, purple. Mohammed says the blue one, as it has all the details needed from the article. Okay. Thank you for your answer, Mohammed. And tell us which one is the worst as well. So Mohammed says the blue one because it has all the details needed from the article. Okay. Which one is the worst? Which one is the best? Which one is just not cutting it? Okay, let's see. Mohammed says the red one is the worst as there's a lot of errors and misspelling. You're absolutely right. Okay, so I want you to tell me which words have been misspelled. Find a word that is misspelled and tell me what the learner should have said or written. Matsuto says disagree. So they wrote it separately and it's supposed to be one word. You're absolutely right. Thim ink. I had trouble reading that one. I wasn't sure how to even say it. It's supposed to be think, but they put an M instead of the N in there. And Mohammed also says allowed, and it's supposed to be allowed with the double L, not allowed as in loud. Read aloud, like I'd like you to do in class, to read aloud. All right, fantastic, great. Let's have a look. The red one is definitely a bad summary because there's so many words that are misspelled and it is not on topic. And the writer, the learner has included their opinion there as well. Okay. This one is an so-so summary. It's not perfect, the blue one, but it could do. It probably would get 50%. You could pass with this one, but it also has a few errors. If you look at the first line, right at the end there's billing. And that is not right. It's supposed to be being. And they made the same mistake with allowed. It's supposed to be the Allowed. Okay. And the winner is the purple one. There's little errors, and you can tell from reading the summary that a lot of what the learner is saying is picked up from the article. Okay. And They do not include their opinion, unlike the other two summaries where they include their summaries. This one is also not perfect because they could have cut down on a lot of words, but it's compared to the other two it is the better one. Okay, summary writing. It is all about taking a text and making it shorter. The aim is to make it concise. The aim is to make it simple. Okay, so you're giving information about what happened without using a lot of details. Okay, and you use simple sentences. When we say you use simple sentences, we're not meaning what we've taught you about simple, compound, and complex sentences. We're not saying there should be a subject, a verb, and an object. You can do that, but what we're basically saying is it should be simple and you should be able to understand. The reason I'm saying that is you might not be able to write the full, complete, simple sentence because of the word count. You are limited by the word count, and that should be your guide. It could be ideal to do that, but word count just limits you. All right. Please complete the sentence. A or B? Do you find them difficult? Do you find them easy? Summaries are to write, A or B, and tell us why as well. Are they difficult? Are they easy? Or you're just getting the hang of it? Or maybe you're in between. You're between A and B. You find them challenging, doable. You can manage them. What do you say, grade 12s? A or B? Matuta says, sometimes they're difficult and I miss the important points. Muhammad says between A and B, somewhere in the middle, because some are tough and some are easy. That is so true. Thank you for your answers, Matuta and Muhammad. That is so true about summaries, that it is so easy to miss the point and to not be able to pick up the gist of what the writer is trying to say. Okay, and there are a couple of reasons that we find summaries challenging. That you are supposed to include only the information that is in the article. And this becomes a challenge because we've always said to you, we want more, we want more, we want more. We want details, we want explanation. For example, when you're doing comprehensions, we're saying justify your answer, elaborate, substantiate. We're always wanting you to include your opinion. We're always wanting you to give more. That's how you get the marks, right? And it's even worse with creative writing because we want details. We tell you that spice up your writing. Don't just write only in simple sentences. Use passive voice as well. Use direct quotes, use figures of speech, use euphemism, use alliteration. We want all of that because that gets you the marks. But summaries are a different ballgame. It's almost as if we are saying everything you've learned in English, put it nicely, put it on a shelf, and play by different rules when it comes to summary writing. That's basically what we're saying to you. And it can be very challenging. But what you need to remember is with summaries, you are trying to identify the main ideas. Okay, so in this class, we are going to look at how to do that. And the question is always your guide. It is very important that you pay attention to the question because the question will tell you which main ideas to pick. So before you even read the text, it's important that you know what is required of you. You know the instructions, you know the question. Right, we're going to look at steps, 5 steps on how to write good summaries. But before we get there, let's have a look at what's required of you in paper 1 of your exams. If you have a look at this diagram and you see that summaries are part of section B, question 2, and they are worth 10 marks. It's not a lot of marks, but it's easy. Okay, I won't say easy. You can get those 10 marks, and I'm going to show you how to get those 10 marks in this class, because you should aim for that. You might find other sections like comprehension and the question 4 to 5 a bit challenging, but summaries, you can get those marks. The thing with summaries is you have to practice and just get better at it. Remember, with summaries, they're not just limited to English. Once you master the skill, it will help you with your other subjects. Think of history and life sciences. Those are subjects that need you to condense a lot of information. So you get this right, it works for you in other areas too. All right. So with section B, you should be spending 30 minutes on the summary. All right. So we're going to discuss how to break down time and how to go about answering this question. It's not a lot of marks, but if you get the 10 marks, that could be the difference between 80% and a 70%. There we go, right over there. So features of a good summary. We have 5 on this page. And we looked at them briefly, so we're just going to repeat again just for emphasis. Okay. So a good summary should condense the original text. Short, 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 short. That's the one word that should come to mind when you think of a summary. A good summary should include the most important information. And how do we find this most important information? By understanding the question, what you have to do before summarizing. See, a good summary should reflect only what is in the passage. So no opinion, no analysis, just what you find in the text. D, a good summary should be written in your own words. And the last one was a good summary should be well written. A well-written summary means 10 out of 10, and you could really do with that boost. Grade 12, any questions so far? Any comments? Anything you'd like to add? Anything you're not sure about? Before we look at our 5 steps? I just want to share with you that I also had problems with summary writing when I was in high school. And my biggest problem is what I mentioned, that I love adding a lot of words. I love details. So I had to practice a lot before mastering summary writing. All right, step 1, you have to read the question. So I'm going to repeat what I've been saying. Reading the questions helps you identify the main ideas, the important facts. All right, so you need to read the question very carefully. The question will tell you what the summary is about. So before you even look at the text, you go straight to the question. Don't read it first. Step 1, read the question. Go to the question. The question will tell you what to expect in the summary. Right, so you're looking for keywords in the question, and the keywords will guide you. And from the keywords, you will pick the topic of your summary. And with reading the question, you also have to read the instructions. So step 1 is reading the question and reading the instructions. Before we move on to step 2, questions. If you are all good, please give me a thumbs up so I know that we can continue. Give me an okay, ma'am, or so I know that you're still with me. Can we move on? Thumbs up. You have a question, you're not sure of something? All right, we're moving on then. So here's the question. Last year has been one of the most exciting yet stressful years of your life. You have been asked to talk to your fellow learners at the next school assembly on how to manage stress. So tell me, what are the key words? That's our question. What are the key words? What will the article be about? What do you expect from the article? Just by reading this question. Stress. Mohammed says stress. That's correct. All right. The keywords here are how to manage stress. Okay. How to manage stress. This is step one. We're still in step one. The next thing you need to do. Okay, I skipped a whole lot now. That's the question. Instructions. So the instructions will tell you what you need to do. They will guide you in how to summarize. You only have 30 minutes, so you have to maximize your time. We're still on step one. So for this summary, you have to list 7 points in full sentences using no more than 70 words. So your word count should not exceed 70 words. And you need to write in point form and number your sentences. You need to use your own words and include the word count at the end. Okay, so section B, you will get a text that's about 250 words. Okay, so that's not a lot. So you are condensing 250 words into 70 words, picking the main points. Okay. I want to know from you, from what we've discussed, how much time should you spend on step one? You have 30 minutes. How much time should you spend on step one? Step one is read the question and read the instructions. And you're also picking up the topic for your summary from the question. How much time should you spend on step one? Matsuta says 5 minutes. Okay. So 5 minutes, just on the question and step one. So now you're only left with 25 minutes and you haven't started reading and you haven't started writing anything. Ziabugwa says 10 minutes. Just on the question and reading the instructions, 10 minutes. I think the maximum you should spend on reading the question and instructions is 2 minutes. Then you are left with 28 minutes. As we go on, you will see why, because you need to spend a lot of time on other things. Thank you for your answers, Matsuto and Ziabugwa. The next one is you have to read the text, but you're not just reading passively because you don't have a lot of time. So you need to actively read and you need to go with a game plan. So this means as you read, you are thinking of the question, that you are making a list of ways on how to manage stress, okay? And you are going to pick 7 points from this article. And now you need to consider the key sentences with the tips on how to manage stress. So before you read, you already have this information. You already have a game plan. You already know that I'm going to be numbering sentences. So I know I have 7 points. And you're ready with your highlighter, you're ready with your ruler, you're ready to actively read the article. So this is our article. It's called Beat the Burn. Grade 12s, I need a volunteer to read this article. I think it's your turn to grab the mic just for maybe about 2 minutes, so I can also just catch my breath, drink water, relax my voice a bit. Volunteers, please, grade 12s. Remember what I said, this is a safe space. We are all here to learn from each other so we can be even better than what we are already. It's a safe space to make its mistakes and to help each other. So you can raise your hand or just tell me, write it down that, ma'am, I'm here. You can take a break and drink your water and listen to us read, listen to me read. Okay, I'll read. I trust tomorrow you will help me with the reading. I won't be reading alone. All right, remember what we said? You are actively reading. You are looking out for key sentences, tips on how to manage stress. Okay, so bear that in mind as I read. Beat the burn. We live in a stressful world. The general truth is that stress is not something that happens to you, but something you do to yourself. The good news is that there are few things you can do to turn your stress into joy. Our thoughts create stress. When you have negative pictures in your mind, deliberately change them into positive thoughts and paint the best possible picture in your mind. Repeat this as many times as it takes. The purpose of meditation is to keep your attention in the present moment, away from stressful thoughts that are in the past or future. When your mind runs away, mentally relax and focus on your breathing. When you are stressed, you deprive your body of precious oxygen. At regular intervals, take 10 deep breaths in and out, feeling your stomach move. Visualize oxygen going to your toes, fingertips, and brain. Creativity takes your mind away from difficult issues, forcing you to focus on the task at hand. Being creative can therefore help you feel good while creating something beautiful. Any form of exercise rids the body of unfriendly hormones. Exercise causes your body to release hormones which will leave you feeling great. Science has proven that laughing can beat illnesses, including cancer. Laughing rids the body of bad chemicals. Fill your diet with vegetables, fruit, nuts, lean meat, and fish. Limit your caffeine intake, which will not only stabilize your blood sugar level, but also your mood. Do not have too many late nights as you'd be deprived of sufficient rest. Only you can turn your stress into joy. All right, so let's have a look at the underlined key sentences. With underlining the key sentences, please remember that you don't have to underline the whole sentence. You're just underlining the most important part. Okay. So the first one in red, underlined, speaks about positive thoughts, what you think about. So that's one point. The other one, the next one is about relaxing and focusing on your breathing. And there's one about being creative. And there's another one about exercising and how laughing is important, having a good diet, and making sure you rest enough. So that's what we picked up from the summary, the key steps of how to manage stress. Okay. All right, before we go to step 3, my next question is, how much time should we spend on reading the text on step 2? So we're already spending a minute on the question and the instructions. How much time should we spend on reading, on actively reading the question? Okay, but before you answer me, let's have a look at step 3, because I think you can combine step 2 and 3. Plan your summary. So with step 3, you're just making sure that your sentences that you underline are focusing on managing stress, how to manage stress, and that you have numbered the sentences that you've underlined to make sure you have the required 7 points. So I want to know from you, how much time should we spend on step 2 and 3? So that's reading and checking if you have 7 points and if those points answer the question. How much time should you spend on step 2 and 3? Matuto says 8 to 10 minutes. Okay. So now you, including step 1, that's about 11 minutes. Mohammed also says 10 minutes. Okay. Let's see how much time you'll have left for the other things if you're spending 10 minutes on reading and planning your summary. You haven't written the first draft yet. Okay, so far we've spent, from step 1 to 3, we've spent 11 minutes. Okay, so how much time do we have left? I am an English teacher, not a maths teacher, so 30 minus 11 is, yeah, you can do the maths. That time is left. "19 minutes, there we go. Thank you, Matsuto. 19 minutes. My maths is still on holiday. Please forgive my maths. All right, step 4. This is the part where you start writing, okay? You have to write a draft with 7 points, and you have to edit your work and correct any errors. And then you have to count the number of words to check whether you need to write more or cut down the number of words. Okay, so we have 19 minutes left. So then how much time are we spending on, so remember I said there's 5 steps. So we've covered 3 in 11 minutes. So how much time should we spend on step 4? There's only one more step to go. How much time should you spend on step 4? So this is the writing part, the writing, the editing. Matuto says 5 minutes on writing, okay? 5 minutes on writing the first draft. All right. Okay, let's see. So let's have a look at our first draft that we're working on. So here's our 5 point. We picked up 8 points actually. So you can actually exclude 1 from the list. Okay. Before we read, let's say this is your final summary. What is missing from the instructions, from the things that you're required to include in your final summary? What's the one thing that is missing that is very, very important? And I think you can actually use a mark if you don't include it. Word count. Yes, Matuto and Mohammed, you are right. The word count is missing. Absolutely right. You have to include the word count, because then you know with the word count, with your first draft, it will let you know that you need to include more or you need to eliminate words from your summary. Okay. The first one, convert negative thought into positive thoughts. Think positively. I want you to tell me another word we can use instead of convert. What word can we use instead of convert? 2, meditate to help focus your mind on the present. 3, take deep breaths regularly to enable oxygen to flow to your organs. 4, being creative can take your mind off your problems. 5, exercise to rid the body of harmful substances. 6, laughter helps to heal the body. 7, eat healthy foods. Okay, that sentence, that word is not right. It's supposed to be healthy food. Food doesn't have a plural. 8, get enough sleep, rest sufficiently. So what other word can we use instead of convert? Change. Mohammed, you're absolutely right. Change. So another trick with summaries, you need to use words that sum up a lot of what is being said. Okay, like convert, for instance, like meditate. You need to use verbs that can just take that whole long sentence and just make it short, and it explains a lot just with one word. So it also helps is using a thesaurus if you're getting summaries for homework. Unfortunately, you won't have that opportunity in exams, but you always think of synonyms. Instead of saying this, remember the emphasis is use your own words. Think of synonyms. So tell me, what else can you say instead of sufficiently? That last point says get enough rest, get enough sleep and rest sufficiently. And I hope you're taking notes of what I said, that these are not complete simple sentences. They're straight to the point, they are short, they are concise, they cover what needs to be covered. Okay, and when you're done with your summary, go back to your instructions and see if you've done everything that is required of you, right? And your instructions will be your checklist. Do I have 7 points? Are they in my own word? Do I have 70 words? Are they written in brackets at the end? Have I crossed out the first draft? Okay, and this is what's going to get you the 10 marks. Please pay extra special attention to what I'm about to say right now. This is what we are looking for when we mark your summaries. It's 10 marks. Each point is 1 mark, and you're giving me 7 points. Okay, 1 point, 1 main idea, 1 mark. That's 7. The other 3 comes from your grammar, your spelling, and punctuation errors. They should not be there. This is why editing is very important. Okay. And you only have 30 minutes for this. So we said that we are spending a minute on reading on step 1. Reading the instructions and the question. And we said we're spending step 2. We said we're spending, I think you said 10 minutes on reading. Yes, you said 10 minutes on reading. And then you said on writing, and step 3, you said we're spending 5 minutes, right? So how much time will you be spending on editing and making sure everything is correct? I told you my math is on holiday, so I'm relying on you guys to do the calculations. It's 1 minute for step 1, 10 minutes for step 2, And for step 3, it's 5 minutes. That's 17 minutes, right? So you have 13 minutes left. Please check my maths. I don't trust my maths. So you have 17 minutes for step 1 to 3. So which means for step 4 to 5, you have 13 minutes. Okay. This is the editing. This is the final draft. Okay, this is your turn. It's your turn. So I want to know, what advice can you give to those who are not coping during this lockdown period? And while you give me your answers, I'm going to send you your homework. Yes, you have homework. So please read the questions and share your answers with me. I am sending you your homework. It's not a lot. Okay, there's your homework. Please take notes of the information that I put there on the screen with SADC. If you feel like you're not coping and you need somebody to talk to, if you're feeling depressed or you've just gone through something traumatic, please contact SADC, go to their website, and they are there to help you. You don't have to go through a hard time alone. And there's no stigma with hard times, okay? We all go through them. And here's my email. Like I said in the beginning, take my email because you're going to be emailing me your homework. All right, grade 12s, that is it for today's lesson. I hope you've had a